Hi there. In the last lecture we discussed about if statements, else statements, and elif statements. We learned about conditions, what to do if they're true, and what to do if they're false. In this video we'll be talking first about multiple conditions before we get on to the loops. Open up your IDLE. Whoops. And let's take a look. So, alright. Maximize this. Great. Now, let's say we had two conditions. Let's say we wanted this to be true and this to be true. So let's say day is equal to Tuesday, and let's say that my age is equal to 16, right? Now we want to say that if the day is equal to Tuesday and our age is greater than 13, do this. What do we do when we want to join more than one condition together? Well, Python has this sorted out too. So follow me. If age is greater than 13 and our day is equal to Tuesday, then print today is a lucky day. So here we used the AND operator. This is called the AND operator in Python. Basically, it joins two conditions together. So if age is greater than 13 and the day is equal to Tuesday, if the day is equal to Wednesday, it won't work. If age is less than 12, it won't work. Both conditions need to be true. Now you can have multiple ANDs. We could say if age is greater than 13 and age is less than 17 and day is equal to Tuesday. Then what? Then you want to say print. Awesome. Great. There it worked. We used two AND statements here. The first condition has to be true. Age must be greater than 13. Age must be less than 17. And the day must be equal to Tuesday. Now let's say we wanted either or condition. Either the age can be greater than 13 or the age can be less than 17. We don't care. Then the condition or comes in. We could have something like if age is greater than 16 or greater than 18 or the day is equal to Tuesday. Then we'll say that print today is a lucky day. And this works. And you must be wondering why. Our age is 16. It's less than 18. How can this work? It's because we used the OR. The OR states that if this condition is true, run it. Or if this condition is true, run it. It's okay if one of the conditions is false. But as long as one condition is true, it'll run it. That's the awesomeness of Python. So you can have multiple conditions in your if and else statements using the AND and OR operators. Awesome. Now let's get on to some loops. Now let's say we want you to print hello 5 times. So the tedious way would be print hello, print hello, print hello, print hello, print hello 5 times. Now obviously you don't want to do that. It's boring, it's tedious. No one should even do that. This is where loops come in. So before we get on to anything, what is a loop? Loop is something when the code inside gets repeated for a certain number of times. Thankfully, most programming languages have what is called a for loop, which repeats things like other programming statements and blocks of code automatically. First, we'll look at the for loop. So instead of printing hello like this 5 times, we can easily use a for loop. Stay with me and then I'll explain. For I in range 0, 5, colon, print hello. Confusing, yes, but we'll get through this. Look at that. Hello 5 times. Let me show you how this worked. So first we initialize a for loop. For initializes the for loop. Now there's many ways to initialize a for loop. This is one of them. For I in range 0, 5, i.e. the range 0, 5 specifies a list of numbers ranging from a starting number up to the number just before the ending number. So if I said 0, 5, it would create a list 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I in range 0, 5 will create a list 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And for I in it means for every number in the list. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll print hello. So because there are 5 numbers, it'll print hello 5 times. Simple as that. Now, a neat feature about the range is this. For I in range 0, 5, 2. Now, you must be wondering, what does a 2 do? So, the range function can take 3 placements, or 3, you can add 3 numbers. The first number is the starting number. Let's say I want to start my range from 11, so 11. And let's say I want my range to go 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 plus 1, 15. The ending number will be 15. And let's say I want the even numbers, or I want the odd numbers. So I want it to skip by 2. So the last parameter in the range function allows us to skip. So if I say print I, 11 and 13. So when we were here, for I in range 0, 5, it gave us the list 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This was our list. Now if we added another incentive, if we said for I in range, this thing, for I in range 0, 5, 2, colon, print I, go up, enter, print I in parentheses, 0, 2, 4. So what happened was, it skipped by 2. So our list in this was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. By skipping by 2, it'll take 0, skip the 1, take the 2, skip the 3, and take the 4. This gives us even and odd integers. So if I wanted to list the first 20 even odd integers, how would I do that? For I in range, now I'll do, starting will be 0, and the 20th even integer is 40. So I want 41. And then I want to skip by 2's because we're doing even numbers. I want to print I in brackets. Awesome. Hit this. Look at that. 0 to 40. The first 20 even numbers. Isn't that awesome? This is the power of the for function. Now let's say we had an array or a list. We can go through that as well. So let's say we had a list is equal to apples, we had oranges, we had pizza, we had a lot of good stuff. We had grapes. Good. I hope you're getting the point. Sorry, I missed it. Nice. This is our list. List of produce. And we want to print one by one all 4 of these. Now, one may just do print list of produce, but what happens is you get this ugly stuff. Apples, oranges, pizza, grapes, but in brackets and the colons and the apostrophes and whatnot. So to get rid of that, what we can do is use a for loop. For I in list of produce, colon, print I. Print I in brackets. Sorry. Look at that. So let me explain what just happened. One is to iterate through a range. So for I in range x, y, z, where x is equal to the initial, y is equal to final, and z is the skip counter. If you don't put a skip counter, i.e. z, it's automatically taken as 1, so don't worry if you don't put a z. So if you do I in range 2, 6, nothing, just leave that blank. Sorry, forgot the colon. Print I in brackets, then what we get is 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is one type of for loop. The second type is iterating through a list or an array. So we had an array of list of produce, and all we did was, for I in list of produce, for every item in list of produce, we want to print it. So for I in list of produce means it'll iterate through the list. Apples, oranges, pizza, grapes. And every time it lands on it, it'll execute the code underneath. So print I. So it'll print out whatever it's on. So this will print out apples, oranges, pizza, grapes. This is the power of for loops. For loops will be very useful in the following programs once we move on. It'll help us do many things. So using for loops have actually saved us from writing many lines of code. For loops make our work a lot more neater, and it's quite helpful. Another thing you need to know. While writing any loop or any if or else statement for that matter, indentation is key. So we were in for I in list of produce. Alright. Print I. And if print I. And if we said now that we wanted to do another statement, but we accidentally pressed the space bar, and then we said print I again, we'll get an error message. Unexpected indent. This is because the Python code heavily relies on indentation. So after we put a colon, the next code will be part of the for loop. So i.e. 4 spaces. Because this extra space was added, it gave us a syntax error, unexpected indent. That's why all your code should be properly indented. Now, another question you might have is, can I put for loops in for loops? And the answer is yes. For I in list of produce, for I in list of produce, print I. I'm going to keep on forgetting those parentheses. Print I. Now look at this. So for I in list of produce, it took the first list of produce, apples. We're on apples. Now for I in list of produce, so under the apples category, we're going through it again. Apples, oranges, pizza, grapes. So that's what it has printed. So it has printed apples, oranges, pizza, grapes under the first item of list of produce. For the second item, it has printed it again. For the third item, again. And for the fourth item, again. This is putting for loops in for loops, i.e. nesting for loops. That's what it's called. This is called nesting for loops. It's quite useful, and you'll use it much more later on in the course. But right now, let's do a quick recap on what we've done. So we first learned about multiple conditions and if and else statements. You can use the and the or to add conditions to your if and else statements and make it more complex. Now, you might have two conditions, that if this is true and this is true, or this is true or this is true, then do this. That's where the and or come into play. Second of all, we learned about the for loop. Now there's two types. For I in range something, 1, 5, 2, or we have print I, or we have the second one, for I in list of produce, print I. Print I. Awesome. These are the two types of for loops that you'll encounter. First one is the range. So it'll be in numbers. The range consists of three values as we discussed, x, y, and z. X is the initial value, y is the ending value, but it will not go to the ending value, it will be one less. So 1, 2, 3, 4 will be created, and the z is a skip counter. So how many do you want to skip by? And last but not least, the for loop, second for loop is for I in list of produce, iterating through an array or iterating through something. So you can iterate through the array and get each value and print it out. Alright, awesome. In the next lecture, we'll be discussing while loops. Alright, I'll see you in the next lecture.